This is our homepage. It gives us a high-level view of the last 12 months of departmental stats at the top, with a more detailed 90-day view of activity down below. Let's start at the top. It can be overwhelming to know where to start your analysis. But fortunately, we've created a cost score to let you know where to begin. The cost score is a weighted aggregate of the overall cost, prints in colour, and the average user cost of that particular department. As it's sorted by our cost score, it's flagged up our R&D department. Let's pan across and see why. R&D represents 20% of all of our costs over the last 12 months. They're the top in colour printing at 27% and represent £8.83 in the average user cost, which is second overall. Panning to the bottom, this is the print volume of jobs over the last 90 days. Visually, you can start to see the start and the end of each working week, and a general trend upwards. The first 5 weeks look to be relatively stable, but then it really starts to ramp up in activity. We can quickly identify the top printing day, which is Friday the 18th, and a breakdown of the number of pages by each job type. Let's look at what happened that day. We can click on Friday the 18th, and now we can see a breakdown of all of the jobs performed on that day. Most jobs seem to be around 500 pages down to a couple hundred. But there's one job that's blowing it out the water. It's an employee contract totaling 2,200 pages, which has been performed by Macy Notman in IT. Already, we've identified over the last 90 days the biggest day of print volumes and the biggest job within that day. Let's close this drill down. Let's take a step further. Whilst this is a massive job, is it normal that this sort of job is performed on a Friday? Let's use our filters in the top right to look at just the Fridays. Looking at our 90-day analysis components, this has been filtered down for each Friday in this time period. Looking at the previous Friday in this list, another user is also performing a massive job that's throwing everything out of whack. Whilst it's a different user in a different department, is this standard practice for our users, and perhaps one that they may need to look into? We'll delve a bit deeper into our 90-day analysis by selecting the magnifying glass icon on the left. If we recall a few minutes ago, our largest job on Friday the 18th was by Macy Notman, printing a total of 2,200 pages of an employee contract. Looking at the top 100 printed documents, it looks like they're the ones leading this document by the largest individual job size. We can, however, drill into this file and see everybody else who has printed this same named document. Scanning down, other users also seem to be printing this document in other departments. Perhaps there's a departmental process that relies on printing this document to the tune of 8,000 pages over the last 90 days. Exiting this, we can also see the top users by printed pages in this component, along with their largest individual job. Florence is our leading contributor, and we can see their jobs by drilling into their username. Closing this, we can also search for particular document names in our filters. Some keywords turn up more frequently than others, such as forms and expenses. Let's search for form, and select all document names at the top of this filter. After filtering this, we now have a view of all of the forms printed over the last 90 days. One day sticks out, and it's Friday the 11th, a day we previously identified as a hotspot of printing. We can perform similar analysis on our scan jobs. Clicking the scan icon, this launches a new dashboard. We're able to see the top users and departments by scan jobs, and the last 90 days of scan activity. Again, one particular day sticks out, and this time it's Saturday the 19th. We can drill into this day and see all of the scans that have been performed on this day. We have another tool that we can use alongside of these dashboards. It's used to compare activity by seeing if a particular department sits outside of our global baseline trends of volumes printed. We can launch our comparison dashboard to pit two departments or accounts in a head-to-head. With our dataset, we really ramp up print and scan activity from Friday the 11th of February onwards. By clicking on a particular department, we're able to filter the component based on that department. Let's select marketing. They seem to have a much different trend to the rest of the organisation. We can use this information and go back into our 90-day analysis and then look into marketing. One day seems to be sticking out, and it's Tuesday the 1st of February. And look at that, they're printing the same employee contract to the combined sum of nearly 4,000 pages. With this information in hand, we could discuss with the customer why marketing are performing this type of print job over a month before everybody else. So that's our demo of Intuitive DX.